I'm leaving this palace now. I don't need this kingdom anymore. The words fell from my lips like a quiet storm, not loud, not trembling, but final. I stood before the throne that had defined my entire life, and for the first time, I saw it for what it truly was, a cage gilded in gold. All my life, I was told that this palace was my destiny, that the crown was my identity, and that obedience was my strength. But love has a way of tearing down illusions, doesn't it? You showed me that there is no glory in ruling a kingdom built on silence and cruelty. There is no honor in wearing a crown that costs you your soul. So today I walk away, not in defeat, but in liberation. As I cross the marble halls, every echo of my footsteps feels like a farewell. The portraits of my ancestors watch me from the walls, their eyes full of judgment, their painted smiles mocking my rebellion. I can almost hear my mother's voice, cold, furious, calling my name as if her command could still hold me back. But I'm not her obedient son anymore. I'm not the boy who stood by while she spat venom at the woman I loved. That boy died the moment you left this place, the moment I realized that love was worth more than legacy. What remains now is a man who finally understands what freedom feels like. The guards at the gate look confused as I approach. No procession, no orders, no royal escort. Just me, dressed in simple clothes, my crown left behind on the steps of the throne. They ask where I'm going, and for once I have no rehearsed answer. I tell them, anywhere but here. And that is enough, because anywhere you are, that's where I belong. I don't know if the world outside these walls will welcome me or break me, but I would rather bleed in the truth than breathe in the comfort of lies. I think about my mother, about the way her words used to shape my every thought. She told me that love was weakness, but I've come to see that indifference is the true curse. She built this kingdom on power and fear, but I refuse to inherit her empire of emptiness. Let her keep her throne, her pride, her illusions of control. I am done living in a world where love is treated like treason. I am done kneeling to a crown that never deserved my heart. You once told me that someday I'd have to choose between the kingdom and myself. I didn't understand then. I do now. This place, these walls, this power, it never truly belonged to me. It belonged to them, to the ghosts of those who demanded obedience in exchange for worth. But my worth isn't in a title, it's in what I feel when I think of you. You who made me human when the world demanded I be stone. You who taught me that love, even when it hurts, is still the purest truth we'll ever know. The sky outside looks different today. Maybe it's just the first time I'm truly seeing it. The air tastes freer, lighter, like it's been waiting for me to breathe it in all along. I don't know if you'll ever forgive me for the times I stayed silent, for the pain I allowed others to cause you. But I'm coming to find you, not as a prince seeking forgiveness, but as a man seeking redemption. I've left behind everything they said I couldn't live without, and yet I've never felt more alive. If I have to build a life from nothing, I'll build it around you, not with gold or thrones or royal decrees, but with truth, loyalty, and love. I will find you, even if it takes me years, even if I have to cross oceans and burn every bridge behind me. Because this time, I am not walking away from a palace, I am walking toward my heart. And if destiny dares to stand in my way, I will remind it that I am no longer its prisoner. I am the man who chose love over power, and that choice will forever be my crown. I have ruled this place with every drop of discipline my father forced into my veins tonight. These marble halls feel hollow. The crown that once shimmered with pride now feels like a shackle burning against my skin. Without you, none of this matters. The throne, the loyalty, the power. even the fear in men's eyes when they whisper my name. All of it has turned to ash. What is a kingdom if it cannot shelter the one person who gave its ruler a reason to breathe? I walk through the corridors, hearing the echo of my own footsteps, but all I can think of is how your laughter used to fill these walls, softening their coldness. I thought being a prince meant control, over fate, over others, over myself, but loving you has stripped me of every illusion. You showed me what it meant to be human, to bleed, to break, and maybe that's why I can't stay here anymore, because every corner of this palace reminds me of the man I was before you, arrogant, untouchable, unfeeling. I can't go back to that version of myself, not after knowing what your love felt like. So I'll walk away, even if it means walking into a world that no longer remembers me as its ruler. My father will rage when he hears of this. He'll call me a fool for abandoning the crown, a disgrace to our bloodline. Let him. He never understood that love isn't weakness, it's rebellion. My mother will weep not for me, but for the legacy I've shattered. But I've already lost the only legacy that mattered, the one I dreamed of building with you. I see your face in every reflection, haunting me like a ghost I can't bury. If leaving this place means silencing that ache, even for a heartbeat, then I'll go without looking back. Do you know what's cruel? This kingdom, this empire of gold and fire, it was supposed to be our future. I wanted to see you walking through these gardens as my queen, not fading from them like a memory I can't hold. I wanted your laughter to drown out the politics, your hands to erase the scars of war from my chest. But fate, or maybe my own bloodline, destroyed that dream before it could take its first breath. And now, standing at the gates, I realized this kingdom was never mine to keep. It was only ever a cage. I can still feel the weight of the crown in my hands, heavy with expectations and curses. I used to believe it was made of power. Now I know it's made of pain. Every jewel on it feels like a tear shed by the ones I failed to protect. You told me once that love and duty could never coexist. I didn't believe you then. I do now. Because duty demands sacrifice and love demands truth. And my truth is you. So I'll choose love, even if it leaves me with nothing but my own ruin. Outside these walls, there is a silence that almost feels like peace. The wind doesn't bow to titles, and the earth doesn't care for thrones. Maybe that's where I belong now, among the forgotten, far from the poison of royal blood. Maybe I'll find you there too. Somewhere beyond all this noise, where hearts aren't bound by crowns and promises aren't broken by power. I want to believe that the world outside this palace still holds a place for us, even if fate says otherwise. I take one last look at the kingdom that raised me, the palace that made me and destroyed me all at once. The guards stare in disbelief, but none dare stop me. Perhaps they see the finality in my eyes. I'm leaving not because I've lost everything, but because I finally understand what everything truly means. It's not gold, it's not loyalty, it's not the right to command a nation. It's the quiet whisper of your name that still holds power over me. And if I have to lose an empire to keep that, then so be it. The gates creaked open behind me, and for the first time I didn't turn back. The night air hit my face like a silent reckoning. Cold, sharp, unforgiving. I walked past the guards who once bowed their heads in obedience, but now their silence cut deeper than any betrayal. They looked at me not as their prince, but as a man stripped of everything sacred. And maybe that's exactly what I needed to be, stripped of illusion, of legacy, of a name that was built on someone else's sins. Every step away from the palace felt like a wound reopening, yet somehow it also felt like the beginning of healing. I looked up at the sky searching for stars, but but the clouds had swallowed them whole. It was as if the heavens themselves mourned my choice. I thought I'd feel free once I left those gilded walls, but instead, there's this strange emptiness, like I've traded one prison for another. The world beyond the gates isn't kind, it's vast and hollow, but it's real, and that's more than I can say for the throne I abandoned. Maybe this is what truth feels like, painful, lonely, but undeniably alive. I can still hear her voice, my mother's, echoing like a curse in my mind. You've brought shame to this house. She said those words with venom, her eyes full of disgust. But what she never understood is that shame was already woven into our name long before I ever loved you. The royals wear crowns to hide their rot, to polish the decay beneath their perfect smiles. I won't be part of that masquerade anymore. I'd rather walk through fire than live another day behind their lies. I'd rather be a man without a kingdom than a prince without a soul. The road ahead stretches into darkness, the cobblestones glistening from the evening rain. My cloak drags behind me, heavy with the scent of the palace, of gold and grief. I wonder if you'd recognize me now. Without the crown, without the arrogance, without the weight of power pressing against my spine. Would you still see the man you once loved? Or would you see a stranger, broken and unworthy? I've spent so long trying to be the prince everyone expected. But the man I am now belongs only to you. Even if you'll never hear me say it again. I pass the edge of the city, where the lights fade and the wilderness begins. The sound of the river reaches me, the same river where you once said you'd wait if fate ever tore us apart. I don't know if you meant it, I don't know if you're even there. But tonight, I'll follow that sound like a dying man follows the last whisper of salvation. Because if there's even the smallest chance of finding you again, then all this, the crown, the kingdom, the exile, will have been worth it. As I walk further, I think of the people I've left behind. The loyal ones, the cruel ones, the ones who never dared to speak. I wonder if they'll remember me as the prince who lost his mind for love, or as the ruler who dared to feel. History will twist my story. I know that. They'll call it weakness. They'll say I abandoned my duty. But they'll never know that my true duty was never to the throne. It was to the woman who made me human. And if the price of that humanity is exile, then I'll wear it like a crown forged in truth. And maybe one day you'll hear the rumors of a fallen prince who walks among common men, who speaks softly, who smiles rarely, who carries in his chest a love too deep for time to kill. Maybe you'll know it's me. Or maybe you'll never know. But I'll keep walking until my heart finds its peace, even if that peace is only found in the memory of you. Because I may have left the palace, but I never left you. I never could. The river lies ahead, silver under the moonlight, whispering softly as if it remembers every word we ever spoke. Beside it, I stand at its edge, watching the water curl around the stones, and it feels almost alive. Like it's breathing, like it's carrying the weight of our memories. This was where you told me you'd wait, your voice trembling with both hope and fear. I didn't understand then how final that moment was. I thought love could defy everything, even fate, even duty. Now I see how wrong I was. The world doesn't bend for love. It crushes it quietly, mercilessly, until only the ache remains. I kneel and let my fingers touch the water. It's cold, painfully so. It reminds me that I am alive, though I feel more like a ghost wearing the shell of a man who once believed he could rule the world. The ripples move outward, disappearing into darkness just as you did. I whisper your name into the current, hoping somehow it will find you. But even the river doesn't answer anymore. Maybe it too has learned the silence of loss. Every sound of the night pulls me deeper into memory. I can hear your laughter in the rustling leaves, your sigh in the wind that brushes past my face. You used to tell me that I looked too much at the stars and not enough at what stood right before me. You were right. I was always chasing something higher, something greater, when everything I needed was in your eyes. And now, the stars feel like strangers. They shine indifferently above me, as though mocking my downfall. The prince who once dreamed of conquering constellations now stands defeated by love. I wonder if my mother sleeps peacefully tonight. She must think she's won, that by driving you away, she saved the royal bloodline. She never understood that her cruelty didn't protect this kingdom, it destroyed it. Her hatred was sharper than any sword. The words she threw at you that day, I still hear them like poisoned arrows buried in my mind. I should have defended you harder. I should have chosen you then, not now, when everything's already gone. That is the weight I carry for the rest of my life, the knowledge that I didn't fight soon enough. I sit by the water, the moon reflecting faintly on the surface, and I can almost see your face there. For a heartbeat, I imagine you beside me, your hand slipping into mine, your head resting against my shoulder like it used to, and for that single moment, I let myself believe that everything can be undone. But when I blink, the illusion fades, leaving only the cold night and my trembling hands. It's strange how love can haunt more fiercely than death. The forest behind me hums softly with life. Crickets, the distant cry of an owl, the wind weaving through the trees. It's the kind of peace I never found inside the palace. But even here, where the world feels untouched by greed or power, I can't escape the echo of your name, a whisper to the darkness that I'll find you. Maybe not tonight, maybe not soon, but someday. Because love like ours doesn't end, it waits. It hides in the folds of time until fate grows weary enough to give it back. And when that day comes, when I find you again, I won't bring a crown or a kingdom or a promise of power. I'll come to you as I am now, broken, stripped, real. I'll bring nothing but my heart and the truth that I should have spoken long ago, that you were worth more than any throne, more than any bloodline, more than any name. Until then, I'll keep walking, through rivers, through ruins, through the silence of my own making, because every step I take away from that palace is a step closer to you.